one of our senior umpires doing ground rules, so this is kind of an idea of what you're going to be doing. Good volume for it. Turn it on software. Yep.
An hour 40 on the clock, we'll start holding when the timer goes off. When I say full inning, once the third out is recorded at the bottom of the inning, that's when the next inning starts. When that third out is recorded, and that timer goes off 2 seconds later, we start the next inning. Okay?
No, turn it off last week, didn't you?
This one's sound right here. Yeah. That's off now.
We'll get it figured out, hang on.
What is it?
Yeah. You should project it.
Alright, so we got 2 going through tonight. So 6 innings, 6 strokes, 5 inning limit on the pitcher, and then warning on
I'll let you control volume there. What one was that?
Now 40 on the clock, once that clock and the time goes off, when I say full inning, once the third out is recorded at the bottom of the inning, that's when the next inning starts. So that's third out recorded, and after the time goes off 2 seconds later, we start the next inning. Other than that, straight up baseball. You guys are home team tonight, the time goes off, and we have, you still have an option to I'm sorry, yeah. So, Alright, any questions? Alright,
Alright, you see how calm, relaxed? Been doing it quite a while. Probably the first 20 times you do it, you're gonna fumble, stumble, be nervous, maybe not. You'll find out. Practice, practice, practice. Get comfortable, be confident, know the rules. Everybody know what rules you got? Anybody remember everything from last week?
We need to do a quick review.
Huh?
Cool.
You good?
We'll touch on what they need done. So, when you come up and do ground rules, you don't have to cover everything on that sheet. That's kind of what we said last week. So you don't cover that rule sheet from top to bottom when you do ground rules. You hit on the highlights, which are time limit, run per inning, outs. It's 5 runs or 3 outs. 5 pitches. What was that? 5 pitches. That's about it, right? Yeah, so you don't have to go over the entire rule. It's just just to highlight what there might be questions on. When the ball will be called dead. I know we haven't talked about that yet. We'll do that probably next week or the week after. So basically, and when you're doing ground rules, when you talk about when the ball is dead, You'll tell the managers that the ball will be called dead when it hits the ground inside the baseline. But it shouldn't take you more than what, 2-3 minutes to go through ground rules at this age? At the most. By the time you do introductions, exchange everything, it should be quick and easy. Okay? So some lights on. If anybody wants to volunteer, come up first.
You're all gonna have to do it, so you got the option of volunteering and getting it over with, or? Very good.
Come on up. Do one more.
Need a partner. There you go. Whenever you come up to home plate, okay, in your age group, you don't have home plate umpire, you don't have field umpire. Basically, you have primary and secondary, okay, because you're both out in the field. So the primary umpire is always going to stand at the point of the home plate. Secondary umpire is always going to stand on the back side. Both coaches will line up here, right? Typically, what you do is walk up. I'm not shaking anybody's hand, so I don't want no sickness if anybody's got any, but typically you'd walk up, right?
Yeah, walk up, introduce yourself, shake hands. So, you get, we probably should run over that real quick too.
On the card,
Yeah, we'll do that after we get done. So that'll be your game card.
Okay.
On there, it does list, home visiting teams, so you know, visiting two umpires for the field. And then, make sure that you're, so the other thing on when you do ground rules, make sure that you're on the right field.
Yeah.
But the division, make sure you say this is AU machine pitch, because sometimes you might get a team that shows up to the wrong field. No, we'll do that later. Yeah, the ground rules are the same for both.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the same for both, so, yeah, so you don't have to worry about that. So you come up to your introductions, and then you go over the ground rules, which was a highlighted that sheet almost.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You're going to say, basically, you're done introducing, you're shaking hands a whole bit, and then you're going to say, all right, I got 8 U machine pitch. Right?
Yeah. Both coaches will agree, hopefully.
Right, hopefully they're on the
Yeah.
right field.
Yeah.
8 U machine pitch, 1 hour, 1 hour drop dead, right?
Mhm.
5 runs per inning, or 3 outs, whichever comes first. Any questions?
Yeah, five pitches per batter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, ball will be called dead when it's the inside the baseball. And then what Rod just said is when you get done, ask, do you have any questions? Because that opens it up for the coaches then to ask it for any clarifications. So if they don't ask for any clarifications, we assume they know the rules that was handed to them. Right? Okay. You want to try it or you? Yeah.
Alright, so we got 8 machine pitch, 10 times an hour for 5 innings, whichever we get to first. As soon as within an hour it drops dead. 5 runs an inning for 3 outs, and then the batter gets 5 pitches for a bat. Ball dead once it comes back to the baseline, or it lands in a circle around the machine, the coach.
That's a little different than coming in, but yeah, it's a machine.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and then they'll ask you additional questions if they have it. So, the other thing is your lineup sheets. Whenever they come up, they should be handing you a copy of the lineup sheet. It don't matter what color it is, as long as you get one. Okay. And remember, it's got to be properly filled out. So,
Right, so, example,
yeah.
see that?
Yeah.
See that?
First name, last name, and
First name, last name, numbers, right? Make sure the date, what field, team names on there. But see this one? This was an actual game. I just pulled this from the box the end of last fall. This one's wrong. See how it only has first initial and last name? Has to be full name. So if they hand that to you, sorry, coach, I had to have first name.
Yeah.
Basically, what's really going to happen a lot is early, if you're going to have peewees, and the coaches aren't even going to know most of the kids' first names yet, they're still learning them. You still got to have it. Okay?
They do have a roster that has their first and last names on, so to say they don't know their name.
They say they don't know it, but
They have a printed roster with your name. So, and then the other thing you do when you're all done, you hand a game card to each manager and you get a signature at that point. Reason for that is if there's any conflicts during the game, you already have the game card signed and turned in. You don't have to hang around and listen to a coach complain to you about a problem they had or an issue they had. You can get your signatures. When you're done with the game, you can leave. Like I said last time, some umpires will hang around and bump fists with the little guys. I mean, that's your choice. We don't encourage that, but if you choose to, that's up to you. Okay?
Right. Let's do, we'll pass this around when we're done. Well, you'll all get to see it when you come up. Just see you're on there. Okay? You gotta make sure you sign your name. Print it if you can. If you got sloppy handwriting, you just go ahead and print it just so we can confirm that that umpire was the umpire that was actually there. You're gonna have the coaches down at the bottom. Each one signs. Do that like Tim said at the beginning. Okay?
If you're filling in for somebody, make sure you write your name.
Backside, that's where you're going to keep track of the score. Scoring doesn't really matter at 5, 6U, 7, 8U. Do it anyway. Okay? Get you into the habit so by the time you do get in the player pitch, you're good to go. Make sure you always put the start time, what time you started, what time you ended. For number of innings, as you can see, these umpires didn't do it on there. And then there's a place down on the bottom, and the issues notes. If you notice something was wrong with the machine, home plate messed up, coach was a jerk.
Yeah.
Just don't put that on there till after the teams are gone.
Yeah.
And then you can put that on there. That flags it to us. Me and Teresa see all of these, and then we'll check into whatever it is. Because sometimes you'll have coaches that aren't bad enough to where you have to do anything about it immediately, but it's kind of nice to make a note so we can keep an eye on somebody if we're afraid they're going to get out of control by the time it gets hot outside.
So when you guys come to the park, in the shed you'll pick up your game card and your bucket of balls and your timer. Coaches will give you these. So at ground rules, you get game cards signed, you keep it, and you take these. And preferably keep them together. Kind of fold them, keep them neat, but you wad them up in the ball and shove them down in your pocket and put them in the box. And now Robert Teresa's got to deal with trying to untangle them and figure out what game cards go with what lineup sheet. So if you keep them all organized for them, they'll probably be happy with that. So
Now wadded up into a snowball, so everything else.
yeah, and at the end of the night, you put these back in. There's some little bins in the sheds. We'll go down and go outside where you just put these back in or leave them to the clipboards and they'll pick them up the next day. Okay.
It's important to pay attention to what your age you're doing. 5, 6, you're going to be carrying a tee down with you, right? Machine pitch, you don't. The last thing you want to do if you end up down on 6 or 7 is get down there and realize you don't have a tee. That's a long jaunt back to the shed, just so you know.
There will be one of us there when you guys start, before you start your games, to kind of get you going and make sure you have everything you need. So we're not just going to, after training, just say you're done, show up, and hopefully you remember. And there will be somebody there when we open up the sheds and make sure you get what you need and get you going. So, okay.
Not too bad, huh?
You want to try it?
Try it. And flip.
Walk around. Cool. Okay.
It's going to take 1 hour.
Okay.
In that hour, the ball is dead. Battery is going to have 5 pitches. Each inning is 3 outs and 5 runs. And the ball is dead when it's the baseline.
There's inside the basement.
Inside baseline.
We'll go over that.
We'll go over that.
Yeah, don't worry.
You can leave that out.
Yeah, we'll go over that, yeah.
Not it, right?
And then you ask if there's any questions.
Very important.
And then your lineup sheets. Each coach will hand you one. Make sure that they're filled out right, and if not, you hand it back to the coach. And you ask them, so you hand it back and say, you need this filled completely out, and get it back to you before the end of the first inning, basically.
Right.
Okay? All right.
Make sure you have your timer with you at ground rules. That way when you're done, tell both coaches, timer set for 1 hour,
Yep.
timer set for 1 hour, do your business, the whole 9 yards. They walk away, you walk back, you're on the clock. If everything's good to go, it's 6 o'clock, you know it's 1 hour. You hang the fence on there, you're gonna turn, say, coaches, holler, coaches, we're on the clock. Bam, start the time. Okay?
Don't ever start it before game time unless they agree to it. So if it's 5 to 6, you don't start the timer if they're not ready. But come 6 o'clock, if you see it's 6 o'clock and they're still in the dugouts messing around, go back to the timer and tell them you're on the clock and start the timer.
Holler it loud,
Yeah.
so they know. It's a good habit to show them the time, so they're not questioning.
Because that is the official time. You might have some coaches say, well, according to my watch, we didn't start till 10 after. We're ending early, and then you just point to the timer, coach, this is the time left on the clock. This is what we set. So there's no arguments. Okay? Not too bad, is it? Yeah.
All right, who's there? Next 2 victims.
Check your thing again. Try, is this
Working?
There we go.
Was I off the whole time?
You were close enough to him for it to pick up. I couldn't tell until you stepped back a little bit.
Okay.
This is the 8 game, and goes an hour, 5 innings. Each batter has 5 runs or 3 outs, and each batter is 5 pitches. And whenever once the ball comes in the baseline, any questions?
How many bases can we run at a time?
2.
Yeah, there is no station-to-station running. It's until the ball is
It's
dead.
not required to go station to station, but you're gonna have coaches that require their players to only do that, and you're gonna have other coaches that run them like the Dickens.
Yep.
So you will get asked that question.
And again, when we go over more rules of field, you'll know more about that too. So, and lineup sheets.
What's wrong with it? First name.
First name, yeah. Okay.
All right. Here we go. You're live on camera, you're nervous, right?
This is 8 machine pitch. It's gonna be a 5-inning game. It's gonna be, or 1 hour. 1 hour.
1 hour, 5 minutes.
Regular time. There's gonna be either a 5-1 inning or 3 outs, and the ball is dead if when it comes to the line. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, let's drop the, don't worry about when the ball's dead in the ground rules. If the coaches don't know, it's their own fault, because we sit through meetings with them for,
Yeah. Oh, when you call the ball dead.
when you're doing ground rules, keep
Yeah.
your ground rules just as
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
How many outs, how many innings, how many runs per inning.
Yeah.
That's about it. All the detailed rules they should know. If they don't know,
And,
it's gonna be a long game.
yeah. Yeah. Okay.
You ready?
And the lineup sheets.
The first names are filled out correct.
Okay.
You can see the entire name.
Okay.
Mine looks perfect.
Yep, yours is,
Of course.
yours is good.
Ready. Good deal. Ready to do that?
Yeah. You're on the clock!
All right, next 2 victims.
The game's 1 hour, so it's an 8-inning. The 8-inning game, lasts an hour long for 5 innings, 3 outs, 3 innings. The ball hits the baseline and the ball is dead.
Okay.
Question?
Okay, fine.
We have the full first name.
First, we got 8 machines this year. The rules are hour-long or 5 inning game, whichever comes first. You got 5 runs. You got 5 runs per inning or 3 outs. And then that's it. Any questions?
Favorite batting team?
Yes, I have 2 pitches.
If we're doing machine pitch?
I'm not that good.
Okay.
Any other questions? Right, short turns. Looks good.
This one here isn't here yet. Is all right to leave in there?
You can go at the end of the lineup, but it's also put out wrong. You have the full first base pulled out.
Good. That was right. If they got a player that's not there yet, have them scratch it in a lineup and drop them to the bottom. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Already got it.
Audit,
Hello?
maybe machine pitch, 5 innings or an hour, long game, whichever comes first. Each inning is 3 outs or 5 runs, and each kid gets 5 pitches.
Okay.
Any questions?
Do I have to have a catcher? I have to have a catcher. I don't have enough players for a catcher.
And creating one from the field.
At this age, we don't need catchers. They're there, but if they choose to pull their catcher, put them in the outfield, they can. But they cannot have more than, did we cover that? Oh, we haven't gone over that, all right, sorry, probably shouldn't ask that question yet. All right, never mind. That's on the later time. Okay? Lineup sheets?
You gotta have all these, hold in,
Okay.
first and last.
Okay. All right.
And coaches, this is gonna be 80 machine pitch. We're gonna have 5 inning run limit or 3 outs. Game will last an hour and 5 innings. Each batter will receive 5 pitches. Any questions?
Nope.
You can have the initial, make a full name.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. And keep in mind, there's gonna be a lot of times when you get out there and you're standing around waiting and you're wanting ground rules. And the coaches are up too busy hitting balls to their players, not paying any attention, so you're gonna have to holler and speak up.
They're not just gonna be there waiting for you.
And there'll be times that each of you may have to go to each side and be like, hey, we got ground rules. Because otherwise they get totally lost in their own world when they're out there on the field. And they're in no hurry to get over to you. And early in the season is going to be important because you're going to be on time with daylight. You're going to run out of daylight. Okay? Very important to get the game started on time, get that game finished. Okay?
How much before the game? When should we start ground? Was it 5 minutes before the game starts? Or 10?
Usually 5 to 10.
Yeah. We try to make sure you guys get down there about 10 till game time, so if you're working the lower fields and you're at the shed, probably leave about quarter till to start walking down to the lower fields.
Yeah. Doesn't mean that you'll actually get to start the game
Yeah,
5 minutes early. Most teams will,
yeah.
you know.
If you get ground rules 5 minutes early, they're ready to start, you can start.
I mean, the goal would be if you can start prior, that's better. Because now you're gaining time. But a lot of those fields don't have lights. Now, we are going to try and play as many as we can up on field 2 and 3 this year under the lights because we start so early with the Pee Wees. We used to not start till May. So now we bumped up how many games they play, so we gotta start them on the week of April 13th. Just not enough daylight.
No.
To get them in, so. Yeah.
Will we ever like umpire two games in one night? Or possibly?
Yeah, most of the time you will.
Our goal is to get 2 games scheduled every night, so that'll be,
Now, very early, if we can't get them up on 2
Yeah.
and 3, there's no way to play 2 games on 5, 6, or 7, like the first few weeks in April. There's not enough daylight. So, but if we can get them up on 2 and 3, you'll definitely have two games.
yep,
Right?
yeah. Okay. Who's
Who's
next?
next? You gonna give it a whirl?
Yeah.
All right.
This is a machine pitch. Game will be 5 innings or an hour, whatever comes first.
Okay.
3 outs for 5 runs. And
No questions?
we need 4 innings.
Okay. Okay.
So, good.
Good.
And basically, you'll know that you'll have a copy, and that the coaches will swap copies usually. Or a lot of times, maybe the scorekeepers will swap a copy.
We got a easy machine pitch, an hour game for 5 innings, 5 run limit or 3 outs, whichever comes first, and 5 pitches per batter.
Any questions? Okay.
Alright, so you'll always take your 2, each one, either put it in your pocket,
Or your ball bag or,
ball bag, or whatever you wanna do.
okay.
And just sit here with hands back.
And figure out who's gonna keep score on the back, either primary or secondary. I don't know if they, usually it's secondary, isn't it, out there? We'll keep score on the back of the card. So, like Rod said, that we don't really track it, but it is good to get in the habit, but you won't be required to do it when you get older kid. Plus, if there's any discrepancy, you can always, let them know that was 5, so that there's no question on when they need to change.
Alright.
A couple more.
Everybody else did it, didn't it?
I think so.
We need somebody to help this young lady out here. Who wants to partner up?
Okay.
All right. There you go.
This is 8 machine pitch. It's hour-long game or 5 innings, whichever happens first. 3 outs or 5 runs, whichever happens first. And 5 pitches per player. Any questions? The full first name.
Okay, I'll give it back to you. And then they just stay together.
Right.
Okay.
Try to have a pin on you. I
And
think then usually
Yeah.
you try to keep ink pens up there, but they always get walked off, disappear. So always try to have an ink pen with you. Okay. Early in the season, make sure you wear some kind of undergarment.
Long sleeves, it's a little chilly.
Okay. A little chilly. Always remember it's 10 degrees colder on the ball field and 10 degrees hotter. If it's hot outside, it's going to be 10 degrees hotter on that ball field, sometimes 15 depending on the sun being hot. Early spring, it gets cold.
Yeah.
You'll find that out when we do outdoor training on March 28th. So even in the afternoon, we've been out there and it actually started snowing. Okay?
If you need to, the first few games, if you need to make yourself a little cheat sheet, if it's hard to take with you, just so you get ground rules, make sure you don't change the ground rules, you can do that, we don't have a problem with that. Just don't go out there with a whole sheet of ground rules. We don't want you guys out there with the rules, the coach should know all those. And if they're asking to see a rule, you shouldn't be providing the rule to them, they need to look the rule up themselves. Right? You want to add?
didn't think of. Real quick.
Okay, we'll throw 5, 6 real quick.
Silly as it may sound, doesn't hurt to stand in front of the mirror once in a while. Just practice it. Like I said, that's the very beginning, it's the first impression the coaches get from you with ground rules. That's going to set the whole standard from that point forward through the game. If you come up looking sloppy, dirty, bumbling your words, nervous, they're going to doubt everything you do at that point. Okay?
So real quick, since we have a few minutes, we'll just go back over ground rules. You can never, just to make sure that everybody's on the same page with them. Everybody pretty much had this all down. Games will be 1 hour or 5 innings, whichever occurs first. Everybody did a good job with that. Like we said, this one really, 15 player per team is really not a concern of yours. Unless you see a team that's got 20 or 25 kids sitting on the bench, then maybe you should bring that to somebody's attention, but I doubt that'll ever happen. Inning limits, 5 runs per inning or 3 outs, whichever occur first. Again, this is the same rules for 5, 6U and 7U baseball and softball. So they only need 6 players required to start. That's different than player pitch. They have to have 8. So remember that sometimes you have coaches that are coaching both a player pitch team and a coach or machine pitch. They may say, well, you got to have 8, but that's not true in this division. It's only 6. So teams will bat roster. They'll receive a maximum of 5 pitches. So once they receive 5, they're done. Sometimes you may have a coach that'll say, well, if they foul the 5th one off, they keep going. Not in this age division. Once they only get 5 at all. 5 total, no more. The ball, we'll go over that when we do the field positioning. Players are not allowed to steal or lead off. No infield fly. Go down a little bit, David, or up, yeah. Remember, if ball touches the coach or the umpire's parent, when it's hit, it's still considered a live ball. So keep things moving with that.
10 players on the field. Okay?
That's kind of where I asked about the catcher.
Yeah, keep in mind, let's say there will be some teams, I had it when I was coaching my grandson, you can't get anybody to get behind the plate.
Yeah.
Okay? They can't, if they don't go behind the plate, they can't put 10 in the field.
Yeah.
Okay? So it means they can't have 5 outfielders, you know what I mean? Or anything like that. So if that catcher can't catch, then theoretically they can only have 9. Okay? And it does happen.
That's why we had to specify it right here. 1 pitcher, 1 catcher, and 4 infielders.
Right?
Yeah, or 4 outfielders, yeah.
What do we recommend they do when they're pitching?
Stand on the first base side, left side of the pitch.
Right? And the coach should throw all 5. Right? Don't throw 1 and wait for the little 5-year-old to throw the ball back.
You'll be there all day.
Be there all day. You'll see a lot of disorganization with this, having a coach behind the plate to help catch balls. Some teams will have it together, some won't. We'll give you a better idea next week because we're going to have an actual field up here. We'll show you exactly where you're going to stand, where you're going to move, exactly where the line is when the ball comes in and out. Right?
Yep.
Exactly where we want the coaches and where we don't want the coaches out there. Right.
Yeah, remember, you guys are in control of the game, so whatever we're showing you, like Brad said, we want the coaches and don't want them. If they're in a place that we told you that they don't need to be, you're in control of that game. You can go up to that coach and tell them that they can't be there. Because we're going over those rules, so they'll know that too, where they can and can't do, because we'll tell them the same thing. Okay? I don't have, you guys got any questions about anything we've covered so far? Any concerns about anything?
Ball gets hit, right back to the coach. Coach catches it. What do you got? Out? Yeah. Okay. Live ball.
Well, coach should just drop it or.
Coach better drop it.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, natural instinct, you're gonna catch the ball. Right?
Yep. You will.
Get down
Yeah.
Machine pitch, always remember that anything in the circle, we don't want the players running in the circle. Right? What's the pitcher got to wear? Helmet with a mask on it? Go his hands or butt.
For machine pitching. So March 28th is going to be our outdoor training. By then, everybody should have their gear, their uniform, what they need by that date, so that you can show up dressed out in uniform. Okay? I guess we don't have anything else then.
No? We might even be able to slip in a day off for you guys. We'll see how everything goes next week, but you might get a training day off on this age group before we go outside. Has anybody started getting their stuff yet? Do you have some?
No, we're just looking at it.
When you do, go ahead and feel free to wear your jersey when you come here for training. Okay?
Just start wearing yours.
If I can still fit in it. I probably can. So that's it. We'll let you out of here.
Yeah, unless you guys got any questions for us.
Any questions? You getting anxious yet? Yeah. Weather's coming. Everybody looks thrilled, don't they? Early morning.
Anxious about what?
And hopefully next week we'll have some paperwork from the treasurer for you guys. Start filling out and get to us back.
That's fun paperwork, because that means you're getting ready to start getting paid. That's the fun stuff right there. You'll have fun. If you like ball, you'll enjoy it. And after you do it a few games, it'll be all nonchalant after that. It's just getting those first few. That's why we go through this boring, mundane, routine stuff, just to help cut the edge a little bit. That first day, most of y'all are going to be a little nervous. Easily.
Remember, don't ever be afraid to ask a senior umpire or somebody sitting there if you have any questions. Or if you have a situation in a game, after the game, you're back up to the shed. If you see me or Rod or anybody else or a senior umpire, ask them a question about a particular play that happened that you weren't sure about. I mean, everybody's willing to share information and help you out. You just have to ask. Okay?
That's where you can get most of your,
Yeah.
some of your best umpire training right there is from the one that's been doing it for years. Yeah. All ready?
Yep.
All right, enjoy this weather this
Yeah,
weekend.
nice.
Be a nice day and super warm tomorrow. Did you guys have any questions?